Is it from content?
Okay, while you are eating, I'm going to introduce today's speaker and also theme. My name is Qin Zhu. I'm assistant professor in humanities, arts, and social sciences at School Minds. And today we're very glad to have Dr. Yanming from Clemson University. So I met Dr. An actually in way back to 2005 when I was a graduate student at Dalian University of Technology in China. And he was a visiting professor there. I learned everything about America, about American politics, culture, everything, philosophy from him. And he really inspired me to learn more about ethics. And the first lesson about ethics is about his class, very engaging class on McIntyre's History of Ethics, which I still keep this book. He's my mentor in Chinese philosophy. Also, he taught me how to be a good teacher. And also, being a good teacher, being a good scholar, they are actually the same thing. They are not separate. I'm gonna very, very happy to have Dr. An here today. And yesterday at the airport, I was telling him that the last time I met him was already in 2012, 2010, I guess, or 9, probably it was many years ago. So let me briefly introduce, read his bio. Dr. An received his PhD in Asian languages and cultures from the University of Michigan, and MA and BA in philosophy from Fudan University, China. Before coming to the US in 1991, he served as Associate Director of Research Section of Historical Materialism at the Institute of Philosophy, Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. He joined the faculty of Clemson University in 1999 after 2 years teaching in University of Michigan and Princeton University. The courses he has taught refer to Asian and modern Chinese philosophy, pre-modern Chinese literature, Chinese Buddhism, comparative philosophy, and Chinese language at all levels, modern and classic. Dr. An served as the president of Association of Chinese Philosophers in North America from 2005 to 2007, a visiting professor at several Chinese academic institutions, and as editorial board member for international journals. And then he recently received John B. Thelma Gentry Award for Teaching Excellence in the Humanities in the College of Architecture, Arts, and Humanities at Clemson University. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. An.
Thank you. Can you just put it here? Thank you, Professor Zhu.
You have to wear this. I'm sorry. let me help.
Yes, he insisted to make me looking so stupid. Okay, all right. Thank you, Professor Zhu. Thank you for all of you to come here, to give me this opportunity to discuss with you about something I'm interested. I hope you are also interested. Actually, I have prepared 2 topics to discuss with you. One is about family love and its extension. This is a comparative study between Christianity and Chinese Confucianism. The second will refer to a larger scope. It's about 4 major civilizations in the whole human being. The first is Judeo-Christian tradition and Indian tradition and Greco-Roman tradition and the Chinese tradition about a cyclical view of history. So this morning, I would start with the first one. I've prepared a handout, and when I start to talk, you are welcome to interrupt me at any point, because any question from you will inspire me to think more. I love to hold a graduate seminar or honors college seminar because I would get opportunity to be interrupted by my students again. So every time after class, I get opportunity to write a lot of notes because I learned from this discussion. And sometimes I have to tell my students, sorry, I cannot answer your question. Please give me some time to think about it. I would use the same style to discuss with you today. So I believe most of you are from science major, science background. Let me start from a fact about Christianity and Confucianism. There is a fact that in the West, it is Christianity. In the greater circle of Chinese culture, it is Confucianism. These two has been dominant ideology for thousands and thousands of years. This is fact. So my talk will answer the question for two things. The first, is there any commonality between these two great religions, philosophy, or ideologies? This is the first. The second is there any substantial difference between Christian love and Confucian love? I would try to answer these two questions. Let me start to clarify one thing. When I use this concept, it is called the greater I have to clarify the concept of this one. You have to distinguish two concepts. One is China proper. The second is this greater circle of Chinese culture. Chinese culture is here. Greater circle of Chinese culture. This greater circle of Chinese culture includes 4 countries, at least now. First, of course, it is China. The second is Japan. The third is Korea. The last one is Vietnam. Why are they called the member of this greater circle of Chinese culture? Because of two things. The first, they all share ancient Chinese philosophy. Especially Confucianism and Taoism, Confucianism and Taoism. You go to any of the 4 countries, you can always find the influence, the trace of ancient Chinese philosophy, Taoism and Confucianism, especially Confucianism. This is the first. The second one is more interesting, is Chinese Buddhism. It is not Buddhism itself, but Chinese Buddhism. There is a difference. Between Indian Buddhism and Chinese Buddhism. When you talk about Buddhism, you have to distinguish the 3 concepts. And here, if here is China, India is here. Of course, originally, Buddhism came from India. This is the original Buddhism. It was introduced into China through many Central Asian countries. Finally, it is here in the capital of China, in today's Xi'an. There is interactive movement between ancient Chinese philosophy and original Indian Buddhism. As a result, there was a Chinese Buddhism from the Chinese side, from the Buddhist side. And from Chinese side, Confucianism developed to be Neo-Confucianism. So because of this interactive movements, both sides changed. And this Chinese Buddhism was introduced into Korea. Korea is here, and Japan, and also India. Also Vietnam. Because of these two sharings, we use this term to call Chinese world of culture. You find something very interesting. If you go to another place, go to this direction. Here is India, then Sri Lanka is here. Then you go to the country like Burma, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia. They belong to another branch. There are 2 branches for Buddhism. One is called Mahayana, another is called Hinayana or Theravada. or Theravada. They love to be called Theravada instead of Hinayana, Theravada. And for this branch, they are Theravada Buddhism. However, for that branch, it is Mahayana Buddhism. If you go to Vietnam, don't forget to cross the river to Laos and to Cambodia. You'll find even the style of architecture of Buddhist temple is completely different. Completely different. You can always find a similarity between the Chinese temple, Chinese Buddhist temple, and the Vietnamese Buddhist temple. But if you go to Cambodia, you find the style is completely different because of this Buddhist influence. Because of Buddhist influence. And here I have start my talking about this concept. I've emphasized one fact. It is that in the West, the Christianity has been dominant ideology for thousands of years. And in China, it's the same thing. For my understanding, it's because they share something in common. This is family. This is a family. Family and a family pattern. I have prepared some quote from Bible. Let's study together. I believe you are familiar all of this. Let me start from Christianity first. Look at the first page of my handouts in Matthew 7:11. If you then, though are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask you? This shows a pattern of a family in which God and humans stand in a relationship, just like that of a loving father toward his children. I have one daughter and one son. When they were in preschool and kindergarten, every day they sing the same song. God is Father, God is Father, give me food, right? There is family pattern here. This is a family pattern. The father, this is the father, capital Father. There is a vertical love to everybody. This is a vertical love from Father to everyone, from all of you, all of us. And there's also horizontal love. This is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. He combined the two parts. He is the only son of the Father. And he was born as a human being. He functions as a bridge to combine the two parts. Holy words, secular words. And he set himself to be a great example, to be copied, emulated by the people in the whole wide world. And here we have horizontal love. Because of this vertical love and this horizontal love, we have something called universal love. This is my understanding about the cross. Of course, you have different readings about the cross, but at least this is one possible reading. This cross represents universal love. It has two lines. One is a vertical line, another is a horizontal line. This is the significance of this one. It's called universal love. But if you talk about universal love, you have to pay attention to two things. You talk about universal love. The God loves everyone universally because this God is the only being, capital being, to be satisfied two conditions. Number one, he fathers everyone. If you ask someone, why does God love everybody in the world? The answer is because God is the father of everybody. In this sense, it means God fathers everyone. This is a verb, fathers everyone. The second is this. His resource is unlimited. I still remember in New Testament, there is a story. Someone talked with Jesus Christ. We are hungry. Jesus Christ give this guy a cake. He said, just one cake? Jesus said, yes, you just split it, without end. The message is very clear. The resource in my hand is unlimited resource. You have to satisfy them. You have to satisfy these two conditions to talk about universal love. Why? Because if my resource is limited, I always face the challenge to whom this last piece of bread should go. So every time in the Christmas time, and I have $500 remaining, should I buy an iPad for my son, or I should buy this one for the son of my neighbor? Generally speaking, I would buy this one for my son. If my resources are unlimited, I buy all the kids the best iPhone in the whole wide world. However, because of this limitation, but God can satisfy both of them. This is the condition. This is why He is a capital being. He is not a lowercase being. We are all lowercase being. This is for Jesus Christ, for the Christian universal love. You have to keep this point in your mind when you talk about universal love. You have to think about the satisfaction of these two conditions. How is it possible for God to satisfy these two conditions? Because God is a God. This is faith. Based on our faith, we believe He can satisfy these two. If we do not have this faith, it's hard. It's really, really hard. Okay. Then what is attitude? Then here we talk about the Holy Family. This is a family, Holy Family. Then we have to talk about lowercase family. This is real family, concrete family, particular family. This is Jesus Christ's attitude is here. And 1:4. Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I didn't come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother. A man's enemies will be the member of his household. Anyone who loves his father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. It's clear. Here we have to have a clear mind about the difference between two kinds of families. One is a secular family, the regular family from which all of us are from. That's a secular family. Another is a holy family. We have to have two kinds of loyalty. One is a loyalty of a concrete family. Another is a higher loyalty for holy family. And here, of course, for Jesus Christ, to be loyal to the Holy Family at the cost of destroy of our secular family. And for a lot of Christians, it's not so hard to understand. However, it is a fact in Chinese history. In 17th century, when Christianity was introduced into China, one Christian missionary traveled in every corner in China. This particular passage caused a lot of trouble. Why it caused trouble? When I moved to Confucianism, you will get a clear understanding, because it's so hard for Chinese people who have learned Confucianism for 2,000 years to accept this kind of idea. Doing something to dismantle your family, to be enemy of your dad or your mom, they can't understand that. They cannot understand that. And later, also, there's a huge conflict among Christian missionaries. There were two groups. One said we have to respect the Chinese belief and Chinese understanding about the family. At least we need to soften the voice of the translation, because majority Chinese cannot read English or Spanish or Portuguese or Latin. They read the Chinese. When we translate some Latin or Greek into Chinese, it's possible for us to soften the voice. Don't just use this kind of word. Something like a man's enemies will be the members of his household. It's possible for us to use something like a may or perhaps something like this to soften the voice. This is one group because nobody dare to suggest, okay, just take off this passage because this is from Jesus Christ. If you don't want to go to hell, you don't do that. But the only possibility is to soften the voice. Another group is no, we have to be loyal. We have to be sincere because these are words from Jesus Christ. You cannot change it, even its tone, even its voice. Huge conflict. As a result, the second group won. They did that in China. However, the result for him is not so good. For a time period, they were kicked out from China. The Chinese emperor said, okay, fine. In so long a time, our history is long enough, as long as yours. We have never heard of this kind of thing. We are fine. Leave us alone. You don't have to come to bother. And they have to go. And we learn from history. It is a fact. Then let me move to Confucian's idea about family. You would understand why they have trouble here. First of all, if I ask you, what is the important thing in the whole wide world, most important thing in the whole wide world, you may answer life or death. If I ask you, what is ultimate virtue, from which we have all kinds of virtues, your answer may be love. If I continue to ask you, where is the origin of love? Depends. If you are a Christian, you will see from God, from Jesus Christ. However, for a Chinese, they do not believe there is a God. Still, they have to answer the question. They have a different understanding about the origin of love. However, they have the same understanding about the significance and importance of this love. The Chinese answer is very simple. From family life, from family affection. And there are two concepts for time. One is time when. It's time duration. Two concepts about time. Time when. For example, this hour, 8 o'clock. This century. This is time when. This month. This particular time. This is time when. 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 month, 1 century. This is time duration. When we talk about the origin of love from perspective of Christianity, we use this concept. Time when. In this particular time, God created a human being. At the same time, He gave the feeling of love to human being. That's it. In this particular time, this is time when. And this time duration means it takes time period. The Chinese idea is very simple. It takes a long period from day one a baby was born. When a baby was born, there is eye contact between this mother and this baby. Eye contact between mother and the baby. From this eye contact, there is a feeling in both mother and the baby. This baby feel secure, warm, safe. The baby always look at mom. These eyes always look up. And I've talked with my wife. How did you feel when you look at our son with the first eye? Her answer is, I have no feeling at all. I thought, why do you come to my family? Why are you so ugly? All the babies are ugly. Yes. Why are you so ugly? Why do I have to stay with you for all my life? All my life? Yes. Yeah, if you are a mother, you will have the similar feeling. However, when you live with this baby for a year and a year and a year, after 1 year, you will see, I will do anything I can for my baby. If you want to hurt my baby, you'd better kill me first, right? Why? From the first look to the feeling of after a year, because of this eye contact. This eye contact internalizes a kind of feeling. This feeling is called love. This feeling is called love. This feeling is from family life. Family life. You may be surprised that you will see orphanage, orphaned. If you go to orphanage, do they have this kind of feeling? Fortunately or unfortunately. The only criterion to judge this orphanage as a good one or bad one is close to family or not. The closer, the better. The closer, the better. It's unfortunate for all those kids in the orphanage. However, the caring giver in the orphanage may create a kind of atmosphere very close to family. It's the same idea. So here is, if this is the origin of love, if this love is the most important virtue, without love, you have no other virtue. No other virtue at all. Something like honesty, something like sincerity, all the others. You stop to talk. And here, also, this love is the root of society, according to Confucius' understanding. And I have prepared a saying from Confucius himself. Look at here. Love as root of orderly society. It is this: those who are filial toward their parents and fraternal towards their elder brothers are seldom inclined to offend against their superior. And as for such people creating disorder, no instance of it has ever occurred. The noble person concerns himself with the root. When the root is established, the way will grow. This way is a Chinese concept for Dao. This is a Chinese concept for Dao. Dao is a concept for the highest principle, regulating and governing all kinds of movements in the universe, including human society. And here, actually, Confucius used a metaphor of a tree. It is organic metaphor. If you have this root, the conclusion is necessarily, automatically, naturally, there will grow up a beautiful tree. So you need to emphasize the root, because for first reason is the origin of love. The second reason is the family is basic unit of a society. That's Confucius' understanding. Let's continue to say this. And look at this one. This one has caused a lot of trouble from Confucius himself too. It is the Duke of She told Confucius, in our part of country, there is one upright gung. His father stole a sheep, and the son bore witness against him. Confucius said, in our part of country, the upright is different from that. A father is sheltered by his son, and a son is sheltered by his father. Uprightness lies in this. You may see, is Confucius crazy? And he encouraged everybody to shelter the wrongdoing of immediate family member. It is a contemporary idea. He's serious. Actually, he's serious. because of this reason. Let me explain. The first is because it is root. By all means, this root must be protected. The second reason is this. When this conversation started, this Duke and Confucius actually has presented two kinds of laws. One is another is social law. One is natural law. Another is social law. Think about this. This Duke said, in our part of the country, there is one upright Gong. His father stole a sheep, and the son bore witness against him. Why? Because this father violated social law. Because of this violation, he should be punished in accordance, right? The standard to make this judgment is social law. Confucius said, in my part of country, the upright is right. The father sheltered son, the son sheltered the father. The uprightness lies in this. Why? There is natural law. Between father and the son, I love my father. Why? I find a lot of people, from other people's perspective, his or her father doesn't deserve a true love. Even this father is a gangster, a hooligan, or drug taker, but still the son, the daughter love this father. Why? Because there's something called natural law. Confucius' argument is this. I don't want to fall in the conflict between these two kinds of laws. Because if anyone falls in this conflict, you have no way to win. This is a tragedy. If you protect your dad, you are doing something against the social law. If you report your father's wrongdoing, you are doing something against natural law. Right? So for the entire Confucian tradition, they have never offered any solution for this kind of difficulty because there is no solution. Instead, they offered a lot of teachings to avoid falling in this situation. If you fall in this situation, unfortunately, you lose in any way. So Confucius is saying this, for my understanding, if I'm forced to make a decision in this difficult situation, I choose this one. I'm sorry, this is the answer. In Chinese history, it's very interesting. There's a great dynasty called the Han Dynasty. And let me talk a little bit more about this. Interrupt me if you are confused. So there are two important time period. One is 221 BC. In these particular years, the first emperor of Qin Dynasty reunified China after the mass or division for almost 400 years. He conquered all the other states and reunified China. If you go to Xi'an, definitely you should visit Terracotta Warrior. That's part of his tomb. And he is responsible for the construction of the Great Wall and for many things. And he himself believes his dynasty will last forever. He named himself as first emperor of Qin Dynasty. Of course, his son should be the second, the third, to 1,000 years. However, unfortunately, just 14 years, this all-powerful empire collapsed because of peasant rebellion. So after this, there is a Han Dynasty. Han Dynasty rose. This dynasty lasted for 400 years. 400 years. You have visiting scholar here. You ask them, what ethnic group do you belong to? They would answer Han. Han. Original meaning is, I'm from Han Dynasty. I'm a person from Han Dynasty. This 400 years is really long enough. Really, really long enough. And today, there are 56 ethnic groups in China. One of them is Han people. It is one of 56, but this one is too large. How large? One count is 92, another count is 94. Overwhelmingly large. This is why for Western people, you always confuse the Han people with the Chinese people. You see, Han people is the Chinese people is the Han people. Because this one is too large, this Han Dynasty. You think about that. And at the beginning of Han Dynasty, there was a huge disputation in the whole country. The emperor encouraged all the intellectuals to join in this disputation, in this discussion. It is very simple. This discussion is what caused the Qin Dynasty to reunify China after 400 years division. The second one, what caused this all-powerful Qin Dynasty collapsed just after 14 years? Of course, the implication is, how should we avoid this kind of situation? The answer is this. Qin used philosophy called legalism. This legalism is efficient to do things. Legalism actually is a social program designed around two concepts. One is war, another is agriculture. Agriculture can produce food to support a soldier to eat, to fight. And this legalism is very strict, very, very strict. And Han Dynasty shifted to Confucianism. From that time, before this time, Confucianism is just one of many philosophical schools. However, from that time period, it became national ideology. It's not only one school among so many schools. It is national ideology, just like Christianity in the West. It is not one religion among all the religions. It is not. It's national ideology. This is the Confucianism. Let me talk about this. Here I talk this conflict between natural law and social law. What is the solution of Han law? No, there was a case. It is true. It is real. One son reported his father's wrongdoing. The judge sentenced. Okay. Take his father here. His sentence is, put this father in the prison for 3 years because he violated penal code, social law. Take this son to the marketplace to have his head beheaded because he has doing something against heaven, against the natural law, against heaven. He doesn't deserve to be called a human being. His life should be stopped. This is a sentence. Serious. Because of this one. Think about that. Don't be strange. If we think about our life, contemporary American life, you will not be surprised. You would say, it is reasonable. In this country, yes, you watch any movie, any series. One policeman came to your house. The first sentence from his mouth is, You have right to keep silent. Anything you talk will be used against you in the court. What is this? What is this? Why are you encouraged to be silent instead to talk? What you have done, it is this. It's called this is your natural rights. This is self-protection. You have these natural rights. This is called natural law. This police actually remind you as being a civilized officer, I respect your natural rights of self-protection. Self-protection, right? Clear at this point? This self-protection is part of natural law. We protect ourselves anyway. And also, if I'm not wrong, in this country, husband and wife doesn't have to report wrongdoing of another part. Why? There is a religious reason. And husband and wife belong to the same body. Same body. From the creation of human being, it's already decided, right? So the idea is this, because in this country, individual is a basic unit. And for Christian husband and wife, these two are considered as the same body. And the Chinese is the same. Family. Immediate family members in the ancient time were considered as different parts of the same body. This father may be head, and he has two sons. One is left hand, another is right hand. Normally, these two hands do not fight against each other. Okay, I report something to make my right hand get hurt. Am I happy as being a left hand? So this is the philosophy. And you may find there's a similar concern. The point is, the difference is only here. What is basic unit of society? For American society, contemporary American society, the basic unit of society is individual. This is why the policeman talks with you, you have these rights. And for religious reason, we have this husband and wife protect each other because they belong to the same body. For the same idea, along the same thinking line, if all the immediate family members are considered as different parts of the same body, of course, they would protect themselves. And are you confused at this point? So I would emphasize something from the first look. You would see it is so strange. But if you think more, we are human beings. We follow the same logic. Sometimes we use different word. However, this logic is the same. Look at this. This is the same logic. Natural law must be protected. Natural law is more important than social law. Here, even in contemporary American society, even this society, especially for individualism, is still the same. Here. I want to emphasize this is the same logic. And so if there is a conflict between social law and natural law, the Confucian tradition is to take this one. But still, it is a tragedy. As I said before, they have published many books, not about the solution of this conflict, but about the way to avoid falling in this difficulty. If you are in this difficulty, you cannot win. Anyway. Okay, I would jump over this Adam Smith, then to make another one, to talk about Confucian graded love and universal caring. This is also confused many people. When you have Christian background, when I came to the United States, already 1991. The first was at Emory University. Then I transferred to University of Michigan. And from that time, I read Old Testament and New Testament many times. And I'm familiar with this concept of universal love. The Confucian love is not a universal love, but graded love. Graded love means this love must take gradation, means step by step. However, there is a confusion, very easy to be confused. Universal love, this is the Christian love, as I said before, based on the satisfaction of two conditions. One is fathering everybody. Another is no limit of resource. These two are the foundation for the universal love. And let's talk about Confucius love. Confucius love is this. You do not have you do not have the universal, you do not have capital father, but you have many lowercase father. If you make an abstraction, you find that collectively those father may function as the father. If you make abstraction. However, there is limitation. There's not a universal father, but there are many particular fathers. Those particular fathers work collectively. If you make abstraction, function as the father. And together, perhaps, they can satisfy the two conditions. Each father works very hard to raise his own family, right? Each father fathers his own children. And the first, the second, the two sections. However, still there is a difference. This difference is, anyway, I cannot father all the children. I father children A, children B, children C. And this father may fathers E, F, G, or something. There is universality in abstraction. Particularity in every single family. Then all the graded love come from here. If you have only one father, you have universal love. If you have particular fathers, you have graded love. Please.
And I don't know if this is a good place to ask
Yes,
this question.
no problem.
But where do mothers fit?
I just use a father as a representative of a family, of parents. Let me use parents, okay? Actually, mother is much better. I'm sorry. Yeah, because Christianity always, Confucianism is the same. They always use father. So today, for our understanding, let's use parents. Yes, single parents or two parents. Anyway, this is the idea. I should be more sensitive. Yes. Yes. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to clarify. Any question? If you do not have question, I would continue to say this graded love. The graded love is this particular father. For example, I am particular father, Yanming. I'm particular father, and so I always talk with my son. You should think about a human being. You should always think to contribute something to the people, in remote places. I always try to cite example for my son. However, still, I have this problem. I have $500 remaining, as I said before. My son really wants to buy a very good iPad or Nintendo Switch or something. Okay. Instead of buying this one to my son, I buy this one to the boy of my neighbor. My wife would ask me, what's the reason? Okay, tell me, what is the reason? Right? This is a natural response. This is called graded love. She asked me this question based on her natural instinct. Based on this natural instinct, Confucius developed the idea of this graded love. Originally, it is this. Graded love, there is misunderstanding about the graded love. Graded love should be this. Okay. Say, this is graded love. And you love your family member, then extend this love to your neighbor, to people in your state, people in your country, people in the whole wide world. However, we have to distinguish two concepts. It's very easy to be confused here. The first is descriptive. The second one is prescriptive. Another possible translation is normative. We have to distinguish these two concepts. The philosophy class, sometimes this distinction of concepts is always important. This description, it is something to be. The second one is should. That's normative. For example, I give you an example like this. I have two arms. We all have two arms. Why do we have two arms instead of three? Wrong question. Mother Nature just let us to have two arms. This is a fact. So anyone discuss about this fact may be viewed as stupid. We will see, why do you have to raise this question? It is a fact. And here you talk about ethics. Actually, ethics occurred at this level. It is this. With these two arms, the Mother Nature or God gave me, I should help people instead of hurt people. This is normative. This is prescriptive, right? Then good or bad occurred at this level. If I use the two arms that Mother Nature gave me to hurt people, I'm bad, I'm evil. If I use the two arms Mother Nature gives me to help people, I'm good. But these two arms it itself, you cannot see it is good or bad. It's a too bad we have two arms. But I would say too bad you have this kind of thinking. Yes, right? We have two arms. Mother Nature gave us two arms. That's it. So we should emphasize this particular part, descriptive. And the graded love is this. This core is descriptive. This core is natural law. We love our family member. Naturally. And we should extend this love to people out of my family. Continue to extend. This is Confucius' suggestion. Of course, in reality, in real life, you think about this. This is descriptive. This descriptive can be used for positive purpose or negative purpose? Nepotism. Nepotism. Right? Because naturally, we love our family member. We may give a lot of favor, do a lot of favor for our family member at the cost of society. That happened again and again in Chinese society, in the entire East Asian society, in Korea, in Japan, anywhere. And when they do this kind of a corrupt activity, sometimes they refer to Confucius. It is true because there is descriptive one here. Confucius always emphasizes this is the descriptive. We love our family member naturally. However, especially from Mencius, after Confucius' death, his school was divided into, according to one recording, 9 branches. Another one is 12 branches. But Mencius is one of them. However, it has been regarded as the most important branch. In English, when you read a book, you read a term, something like mainstream Confucianism. Mainstream Confucianism. Actually, it means the Confucianism represented by Mencius. If you take a class about ancient Chinese philosophy, you may find you also have Confucianism represented by different philosophers. But Mencius represented the mainstream Confucianism. According to Mencius, it is this. You should use the love given to you by heaven and extend this love to people out of your family. Look at, I have prepared 2 quotes from Mencius. You turn to page 2, Mencius. It is this, 7a:15. What is possessed by humans without their learning is natural ability. What is possessed by humans without their deliberation is natural knowledge. They are no young children who do not love their parents, and when they grow up, will not know to respect their elder brothers. Means naturally. According to the natural law, they love their parents. They care about their brothers. Here, loving one's parents is humanis. Respecting one's elders is renis. Actually, these are 2 definitions about the 2 core concepts in Confucianism. So, according to Mencius, what is humanis? Humanis, the first meaning is loving one's parents. And the rightness means respecting one's elders. Elder brothers, I made a mistake here. What is left to be done is simply the extension of this to the world. It's very clear. You have humanis, you have rightness from your family life. You should extend this one out of your family. Then next one, how do you extend? It is this. By treating the elders in one's family as elders should be treated, and extending this to the elders of other families, and by treating the young in one's family as the young should be treated, and extending this to the young in other families, the world can be turned around in the palm of one's hand. Means pretty easy. That's Mencius' idea. As I said before, from this fact, according to natural law, we love our immediate family member naturally. There may be 2 conclusions. One is positive, another is negative. The negative is nepotism, right? Do favor to our family member at the cost of whole society. That's in China, in Japan, in Korea, in almost all East Asian countries. They all suffered from this problem. There is a reason. There is a reason here. However, this is not Mencius promoted. Mencius promoted, actually, it is extension. It's extension. No, you got this love. He knows that. He knows there is risk, there is danger of nepotism always there. This is why he emphasizes this is extension. And here he said, this is the way. Here is my conclusion. My conclusion. I need only read them. Let's go back to see my answer. Why the Christianity in the West has been a dominant ideology, and Confucianism for the greater circle of Chinese culture has been dominant ideology. Even today, even some people told you, I never read Old Testament and New Testament, I never read Confucius and Lex. It's the same. The influence is always there, always there. In our blood, we simply cannot get rid of them. It's always there, always there. And because they have a commonality, this commonality, as I said, it is a family. It is a family. It is, they have the same pattern. This pattern is a family. And this is for this is the secret. This is the secular. This is families. The only difference is here. For the sacred, it is capital family. Capital family. Father is here. And for the secular, the family is here. And for both, they talk about love. Talk about love. It may be universal love from this part. From this part. Why there is universal love? Because father. There's a father figure always there. And here, there is graded love. Graded love is here. But they both talk about love. And for this universal love, you have father satisfied two conditions. Fathering everyone and unlimited resource. For this part, you have fathers collectively for each family. They also satisfied these two. There is a commonality. This family commonality secured their historical influence and their influence even for today. Why family is so important? If you think about this question, I have summarized this one in my conclusion. For my understanding, it is simple, very simple. However, all the truths actually ultimately are simple. The Confucius answer about the origin of love, how simple. From eye contact, from family life, and the feeling of love originated and becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. The next step, we extend this one to outside. The Confucius has something similar to Christian golden rule. It's the same. It's the same thing. You care about your son, you should care about the son out of your family. It's the same idea. And here is my conclusion here. Both Christianity and Confucianism ground their love on family life, sacred or secular, holy or mundane, and both envision a universal scope to include all humans in the world. This ground is nature, since its acquisition needs no formal education. I don't have to teach you. We don't have to be taught to love our kids, our parents. It is natural. We don't have to take education 101 to learn this. right? It is natural. It is fundamental, since the family is the most basic human institution. It is universal, since all humans have their own family. And it is convincing, since all humans learn the affection of love from family life first. This familial ground is the main explanation for the fact that Christian love and Confucian love both have won the hearts of a great number of people from various ethnic groups and stood as central traditions respectively in the West and in the world of greater Chinese culture over the past 2,000 years. This is my conclusion. Thank you. Okay, it is time. Yeah. Yes, I'm ready to pick up a question from you. Yes.
I have a question, but if the students have a question first, I want
Yes, please.
So, what you said earlier about how Christianity views love as like the time for when, and then Confucianism is time in relation to duration.
Okay.
Would it be correct to take that to imply that Christianity views love as like forming instantly, whereas Confucianism views it as developing gradually?
Yes. Actually, what I'm talking about is I should be clearer when I make my point. It is this. I'd better use this one. Origin or creation of love. If I use this word, everything is clear. I would say creation of love in Christianity. In that particular time point, when God created human being, at the same time, He read the feeling of love into this person's mind or his body. So in this sense, we may use the word something like time when. At that point. What I want to emphasize for Confucian side is it takes time. Maybe 1 hour and 1 month, 1 year, even longer. Sometimes parents must be patient, must be careful. Sometimes my wife talks with me, Justin doesn't love me. I said, it's not true. Give him some time, give some time. Look at him more. Okay. Okay, yes. Sometimes Justin talks with me, my mom doesn't love me. I said, it's not true. Yes, give her a hug and look at her eyes. This is the best way to produce the feeling of love. Make sense? Yes. Okay. And, any question? Feel free, please. Yes.
So my question is about Mencius's
Yes.
At the very end, kind of that passage that you read, he mentions this natural ability for us to love, and that it comes from
Right.
The family unit, and he says all that. Then we start talking. So that's a descriptive claim that this.
Yes, exactly.
And then he adds to it the prescriptive claim, the normative claim, the ethical claim that all we have to do is extend this same love to the rest of the world.
Exactly.
So would he motivate that from the same natural love that comes from the family, or is it something that, because it's normative, is a little different? Is it something that maybe we have to do a little bit more rationalizing, or some kind of additional?
Very good question. If you have thesis, let's start from this one. If you have thesis, something like we should love our parents first. This sentence, this thesis is wrong. It's wrong because when you use should, it is normative, right? So you should take off this should. It's we love our parents without any condition. That's it. That's it. This is descriptive. Then for this is the core. The core is here. A substantial difference between the core. And your question is should. Yes. Yes. If you ask Mencius, should we say we should care about our neighborhood first? His answer must be yes. Then second. Then third. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. We use common sense to say this. If Trump, without thinking American poor people, just give all the money to the people in a poorest corner in the world, majority American people will be unhappy. They will say, you should take care American people first, right? This is also Mencius' idea. There is consideration. This is called gradation, but very easy to be confused. When you read a lot of articles about the Chinese philosophy, they just confuse the descriptive and this normative. They confused these two levels. Mencius' idea is this core is natural, descriptive, and we should think step by step. Gradation actually occurred not in the core, but after the core, beyond the core, step by step. It is the idea, it is the practice for any country, any family, right? Yes, if I have $500, I buy a Nintendo Switch, maybe $300 for my son, then donate $200 more for some poor kids. My wife wouldn't ask me the question, what's wrong? She would say, okay, I said I follow the Mencius' guidance of gradation, step by step. She would say, yes, you are a good husband and a good father, yes, and a good Confucian. Yes. Please.
So, thank you for this. This is fascinating to me because I know very little about Confucianism beyond just observing Koreans, right?
Yes.
But as you were talking, I was thinking, at least in the evangelical Christian tradition in the United States and maybe elsewhere, perhaps the most well-known passage is John 3:16, like, for God so loved the world, he gave his own begotten son. And I think that also is like a very well-known description of this universal love,
yes,
right?
Yes.
But
yes.
I wonder if we could read that concept of love through the qualities of like sacrifice and obligation that are God's sacrifice of his one begotten son is evidence of his obligation and his love for the world. Right. Is there something similar in the Confucian conception of love?
Very good question. Very good question. Very good question. My answer is no. And this is why Confucianism is a philosophy, Christianity is a religion. But I can give you another example. Another example from Buddhism. For Buddhism, especially for Mahayana Buddhism, there is a central figure, Bodhisattva, similar to Jesus Christ. According to the Buddhist idea, especially Mahayanist Buddhist idea, they are 10-level sentient beings. They have a concept called sentient being. Just like we have concept of a human being, they have concept of sentient being. And from the lowest is denizen of hell, then animal, and denizen of hell, hungry ghost, then animal, then human being, then it is asura, then heavenly being, just like a mermaid, something, yes. And above this one, they are 4 holy level. For this one is Arhat. For that one is a private Buddha. For this one, it's a bodhisattva. Bodhi. This bodhisattva is the figure of Jesus Christ. It is this. The difference is this. Here is the Buddha himself. The distinction among these four. There's a cycle. There's a cycle. Karma and rebirth. Karma and rebirth depends on everything you have done in this life. Then you have a different next life. The cycle is always here, always here. And at a certain point, you escaped from this cycle to go to this realm. This realm is called nirvana. That's nirvana. Nirvana. If you are in nirvana, you will not fall back. However, there are still 4 levels in nirvana. Take a Buddha got the truth by himself. He loved to share the truth. That's the first. And the Bodhisattva got the truth from the Buddha. Got the truth from Buddha. And he loved to share the truth with all the sentient beings. But this one called the private Buddha. Why is it called the private Buddha? He got the truth by himself. But he's selfish and keep this truth for himself. And this one is called Arhat. Arhat learned the truth from the Buddha, but refused to share. These are different. Sharing this Bodhisattva. When you read Lotus Sutra, there was a discussion between the Buddha and the Bodhisattva. Very moving, very moving. The conversation is this. You have escaped from this Saha world, the suffering. Why do you have to go back to this place to continue to suffer? His answer is, I need to carry more sentient being to nirvana. And he went to this world and suffered a lot. And for any religion, you have to have a central figure. This figure combines this word and that word together, like Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is a bridge to combine the 2 parts. And the Bodhisattva is the bridge to combine this world and nirvana. However, in Confucianism, there is no such central figure. This is why it is a philosophy. Any religion, there must be a central figure. Any religion. And cross the 2 words. Otherwise, this religion cannot convince people. You need to have a bridge to combine the 2 parts together. Yes, this is my answer. Very good question. Very, very good question. Okay, can we stop here? And if you are still interested, we may continue our discussion this evening. I would shift to another topic, is cyclical view. Is a comparative study about the linear view and cyclical view for human history. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You should take your microphone.